set up for the Super Bowl, and let's do some first impressions here, gents, before we move on to other things. Jeff, first impression, Kansas City, San Francisco, go.
Isaiah Pacheco, like what leading rusher in the playoffs. The guy's got 12 first downs, 254 yards. He is running on this pass-led Chiefs team. Guess what? They run that rock with Andy Reid in the playoffs. It has made a monster difference. The 49ers are going to have to stop it. They have not done a great job stopping the run in the playoffs. It's going to be a huge matchup.
Nick, what's your first impression?
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Spags comes out with.
Oh,
He's
yes.
been impressive all season. He had a masterclass against the Ravens. He was deep in his bag. Steve Bagnola, what they call him, I heard. We'll see what he cooks up to stop this San Francisco offense.
Yeah, he was noticeably brilliant, I thought, on Sunday. Graziano, what's your first impression of Super Bowl 58?
Yeah, in part because of Domonique's. I want to see if the 49ers can get out to an early lead for a change.
Yeah.
They're down, they're down by 17 at halftime the other day. They're down by 7 going into the fourth quarter the week before. They had to come back twice. That's not how we think of them, and good for them for being able to do it. But I don't think they should take that chance again.
Yeah, and certainly not against Patrick Mahomes.
Purdy bringing him back.
Hawk, what are you watching for? First impression, Super Bowl.
I'm watching how the 49ers plan to stop Mr. Travis Kelce Swift because the Baltimore Ravens were perfectly positioned for it. They had the defense, they had the players, Kyle Hamilton an all-pro, and yet they could not stop him. The way that this Chiefs offense runs positionless football when it comes to Travis Kelce, his route concepts, and him and Mahomes' chemistry, it's almost impossible to
Route
stop.
concepts?
Yeah.
Travis don't run no route concepts.
That's the point.
He just be getting open. And Travis, yeah.
That's backyard football.
That's like running route. There's no route. Get open, I'm going to throw it to you. That's the route concept.
Is it literally that simple?
Yes.
It is.
You're
It is.
watching them play, and it's like, what is that? That's a hook curl? That's like a corner comeback? There's a route tree with numbers, and he is adding and subtracting and multiplying them, and it's turning out to work out perfectly.
When I went to New England before I retired, and they gave me the plays, and I'm like, look at the plays, and I would look at Julian Edelman, Amendola, and Tom Brady run on the field, and I'm like, these aren't the same plays that I have in my playbook. That's right. That's where Mahomes and Kelce are, because they're not running traditional concepts. The defenses they're throwing against aren't the way that you would read it. No quarterback could do it, but they have such chemistry that Kelce could take his time, get open, Mahomes will buy time, and he will put the ball wherever it needs to be.
It's never a run. The thing of beauty of that is, and this was the same with Gronk and Brady, it's not about speed. It's about efficiency. And it takes time to develop, and they allow it to happen, and then it's just like me and you.
It's a great example of what Patrick Mahomes has turned himself into.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about Mahomes, and I've said many times on this show, we try and show it, I say every week, like this is a perfect example.
Man.
Come on.
That's insane.
Every week he does one thing that in a previous generation we would have said that's the play of the decade. He does it every single week, and because he does the spectacular things, the no look, the left-handed pass, all that stuff, I think we overlook what is actually his greatest attribute, but it was very much on display, I thought, on Sunday. Patrick Mahomes is the best game manager in the National Football League. We have bastardized that term. We have turned it into something that it was not meant to be. To me, managing the game means winning from the quarterback position. He does that. Forget all the spectacular stuff. He does that the way the Tom Brady's of the world did.
I think you're absolutely right. And in that game, I don't want to take anything from the Ravens defense. They were outstanding. But I also recognize that Patrick Mahomes had 2 early drives that were successful in that game. And then he recognized that the Ravens weren't doing anything. And the only way that the Ravens were going to do something was with an interception or a sack fumble. And from the course of the rest of that game, while the Ravens defense was good, Patrick Mahomes didn't fold up shop. They were not taking any risk. And I think that's to your point. It's somebody who's secure in their place in history, someone who's not trying to prove anything, someone who's been there 1,000 times and knows the tempo of the game and knows what's needed. And then when they needed him to be special, you know what? And Bomani Jones made this point to me a couple days ago, how Patrick Mahomes criticized himself when MVS couldn't catch that ball because he said, maybe I should have took something off of it.
Right.
He did. He
did.
took something off of
He
it.
caught it.
In that game, MVS, he actually meant it. And when we think about Mahomes being,
Here's the
this is
play.
Play right here where you go back to that drop MVS had, and Mahomes said, no, I'm not going to criticize him. I'm going to take something off of it. We talk about Mahomes like he is the modern day Jordan. There's a major difference. Jordan would have punched MVS in the face.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes had his back, supported him, and adjusted to make it work for him. Our modern day Jordan is a little bit different.
I had somebody, a defensive coordinator, say to me late in Tom Brady's career, the thing he's elite at, his top skill is winning the game. Like, but seriously though, like whatever that is that week, and I think Mahomes has certainly gotten to that point where we're saying that about him. They remind me of those Yankee teams I covered in the early 2000s, like toward the end of the Joe Torre dynasty, right? They were still good enough to beat you if you made mistakes because they weren't gonna. Even if you had more talent than they did, don't do what the Ravens did.
Yeah.
That's why the answer to the question on the screen is no. Tom Brady is the greatest game manager of all time. Of that, there is no question. The point is, Mahomes does that now as well as he does anything else. We just don't notice it because every now and again he sneaks in one of these or he throws it left-handed and you say, oh, look how spectacular he is. But that isn't why they win.
Well, that's the evolution of the Cam Newton take of game changer versus game manager. To be an elite quarterback, you need game-changing talent and the ability to manage a game. Because so many times we see quarterbacks with so much talent, and then late in the game when a decision needs to be made, maybe a single play, maybe a single run, maybe the way you go about it, and they can't do it, they don't come away with the win. Patrick Mahomes always knows what it takes to win a football game, and he has the ability to make the game-changing plays when they're necessary. When you're the best, very much like Tom Brady, it did not matter who you had at wide receiver.
And I think
you could pay me for that because I will fill in the gap. To your point about MVS, this year has been fully on display to say, we know that they don't have one of the better receiver cores in the league, and yet here they are in the Super Bowl again.
And let me say the game-changing portion of this. Think about it, because Himbo sent me this stat this morning. In 6 playoff games, Mahomes has had 0 sacks and 0 turnovers. 6-0, because you give up. You talk about managing a game. Don't take sacks, which are bad plays, lead to fumbles, lead to all kinds of issues, and don't turn the ball over. To your point, he's done this his entire career. We just don't talk about it.
All right, we are back on Get Up. So here's another controversial moment in the AFC Championship game. Zay Flowers makes this catch. L'Jarius Sneed, who winds up having the biggest play of the game a few snaps later on Zay Flowers, makes the tackle. Flowers, he gets up. You've seen it by now. The shove, the spin, the flag. They call him for taunting. It's something we all saw coming. Joe Burrow, watching the game, didn't like the call. Joe Burrow immediately tweeted, let the guys taunt, which begs the question, to taunt or not to taunt?
Yeah.
That is the question. Come on, let me start with my wide receiver over here. Hawk, to taunt or not to taunt?
Absolutely.
Should that be a penalty?
Let the guys taunt, for sure, because there's so much emotion that goes into the game. You know how hard it is to make big plays in the playoffs, to score touchdowns? Zay Flowers is 5'9", 180 pounds. You don't think he's getting, if an opportunity comes to flex on national TV after a big play, you should let it do it. Absolutely.
All you got to do is turn around.
No.
Like, if you turn around and do it the other way, there's no flag.
That's true.
You can do the exact same thing.
But he spun the ball too. Yeah.
Let the guys taunt. Also, let the guys get their ass whooped. Like,
right?
no. So I am not in favor of us over penalizing guys showing emotion and celebrating. Don't you dare stand over me and spin the ball on my helmet, and then I got to get up and walk back to my huddle like ain't nothing happened. No, it's going to lead to something. It's going to lead, as a defensive player, we don't get that opportunity very often to taunt. And if a player has all the rules in their favor, then they make a play, and then they go act like they God's gift. I'm going to fight somebody.
Good.
We going to fight
I
everybody.
need that heat. I don't DBs taunt.
And that's why the rule exists, by the way. Like, the rule exists because coaches have asked owners over the years to enforce this rule because they don't want fights to start, people get thrown out of games, etc. I'm not saying right or wrong.
Act like we have no control.
That's the motivation for the rule.
Hey, I'm going to start it. Then Ray and Suggs going to come and handle it.
They got
so
you.
you better stop playing.
Chad, let me hear from an offensive lineman.
I'm all about taunting. I think it's
Thank
fun.
you,
Listen,
Jeff.
if I knock you down and I'm standing over the top of you, or there's other things I can do to you while you're on the ground, and I get up and we talk this thing. It is hard freaking work to be successful in the NFL. If you are good at it and you can talk it, talk.
Our director is Will today. Will, can we show the Josh Allen one? So Josh Allen against Cincinnati got called for taunting for something entirely different. I just want to get the opinion of the group here. Should this be, see, he's going for a touchdown. Points at him.
So good.
15-yard penalty.
Love it.
Should that be a penalty?
Come on.
No,
You don't love that?
Nate?
I don't hate that one. However, Josh Allen out here doing fake slides, and then all of a sudden running people over. Like, this is infuriating for a defensive player. You guys change the rules every year to make it hard on us. Then you want us to get humiliated also?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's more
You can taunt back.
More fun.
Oh, talking is one thing. Pointing in my face is another.
But when you
What is this? What is,
don't talk to him.
No, we don't do
what
that.
is this? You don't do this?
We put the strap on.
You know how many times I had to lay on my back?
Hey, you turn on your back and you put them in the baby seat.
You know how many times I had to lay on my back and see a receiver going like this or a DB over top of me on a third down?
And we gotta watch y'all get up after a 9-yard catch and
I'm
do this.
sitting there like this.
See how
on
much
third
more
down.
fun this is? This is why we want to include it. It's more fun.
This is,
Wait.
I got to get up slow.
Let's do a dramatic reenactment. Let's hear what it actually sounds like, bearing in mind.
Okay.
Most of the actual language is not going to be suitable for television.
Yes.
But
Okay.
you just caught a pass on Neek, okay? So you just caught this.
All right, boom.
Right,
Caught
you're
it.
down. Now, show me what's going to happen.
I'm spinning, and I'm like that, and I'm flexing on him.
Yeah,
real
show
quick.
him what's
You
up.
know what time it is?
Let's go.
Let's go. All day.
Let's go.
All day.
We got
Right
a
here.
whole brawl at
Yes.
this point.
Don't
Brandon,
move.
I need some help.
But, like, what are you saying?
Look at me, everybody.
What is he saying?
What are you actually
We already
saying?
were.
In that moment, wait, time out.
You caught the ball.
What did you actually say?
Okay, in all seriousness,
What would you say to him?
you go into a game, and I said this to Domonique, like before the game, if I am crushing Domonique, there is a way to stop. This is a physical game. They're coming to hit me. So I had to go in against the Ravens, and this is honest to God truth. When I play Ray Lewis, when I play Terrell Suggs, Ed Reed, I have to Jedi trick my mind to believe I am tougher than them. I am better than them. They can't stop me.
That's right.
They got dealt a bad hand when Hawk stepped on the field. And so when I catch that rock on third down, or I scoot past the Ray Lewis tackle, my mind is already there. I'm already in that character. That's right, Way. You know what time it is. Ray who?
Yeah, there's
I love it.
Not real Ray. We're not.
No. And then,
Okay,
and then after the game, I come to my senses, and I'm like,
knock your neck loose.